Hi friends, welcome back to Calm in the Chaos Homeschool. If you're new here, my name is Davine and I homeschool 4 kids ages 10, actually by the time you see this video, they are 10, 11, and 14. Today I'm going to be talking about what I think about when I'm choosing the next year's curriculum. So if that's something you're interested in seeing, stick around. Today's video is a collaboration hosted by myself and Shauna from Homegrown Homeschool. A bunch of other moms will be joining in on this collaboration. So if you're interested in seeing how people go about picking their next year's curriculum, definitely check the playlist below after you're done watching this video. So today I'm going to talk you through the process, what I'm thinking about as I'm deciding on next year's curriculum. So the first thing that I'm thinking about is ongoing. As we're using a curriculum, how is it going? How is it working for our family? How is it working for my kids? How is this curriculum going? Is it something that I would continue if I choose to do that in the future years? The next thing I'll be thinking about right now at this time is, even though I do tend to buy more curriculum in the spring for the upcoming school year, not all of my curriculum will run out at that time. Sometimes I take a bit longer on curriculum. Generally, it's that case, not that we finish a curriculum faster. So generally, we take a little bit longer for curriculum. And so we might take a year, we might take a little bit longer. So I'm not always purchasing things straight in spring for the coming fall. However, I do try to look ahead, and I do like to do most of my purchasing in the spring. So even if something's going to end in December of next year, I'll probably be considering if I'm going to purchase that now in the spring, just because that's when I feel like buying things. It's kind of the time of the year where I'm trying to think about my next year and what it's going to look like. So I'll be looking at our current curriculum, and I'll be trying to guess and guesstimate how far we will be towards the end of this year, or how far into the fall will we be using this curriculum when I'm coming up with what I'm going to be purchasing in the spring for the upcoming school year. So another thing that I do about this time, I did it a few weeks ago just to be prepared for this video, is I give my children a survey that they fill out, and we talk about what they enjoyed, what they didn't enjoy, what they liked in our morning basket, what they didn't like in our morning basket, what did they think about geography, science, history, things like that. I asked them what they thought of the different workbooks that they did, and I asked them if they enjoy the amount of together group stuff that we do, or if they would prefer to do a little more stuff independently. Up until this year, all my kids have said that they do like the group work, the same amount of group work that we're doing. But I do have one daughter who decided that she would like to do some things more independently. It is not my oldest daughter, it's my middle child, but both of them are going to be starting some high school credits next year. And I don't feel like you have to completely break off the group stuff when kids start doing high school credits. I think there is value in that group stuff. I think that they can still do maybe 20 minutes of their daily work with group stuff, and then 20 minutes on their own, reading something at their level maybe. But I do want to honor my daughter's wishes as far as becoming a little more independent. I'm not going to excuse her from all group work, but I am going to make a concerted effort to see what I can hand off to her and her older sister, who is in 8/9th grade next year, starting some high school credits. I want to start slowly giving them more of that independence. So I am still I still really do like the Charlotte Mason method and philosophy. So in my mind, I'm thinking about what sorts of things I can add to their reading and having them do narrations, oral or written, and things like that. So I'm going to share in a future video a little more about my high school, what I'm planning for. I'm going to share like the high school credits that I want all my kids to get to graduate from my homeschool, ones that I have shared with my daughters, which credits my daughters will be working on this year in their, let's say, 8th grade or 9th grade year, and what I'm thinking about as far as how am I going to create those high school level courses for them to complete. So if you're interested in high school level content, I'm just starting that sort of things. Just in this upcoming school year, it's going to be my first taste of high school type things. And if you want to get inside my brain and how I'm thinking about all the high school stuff, definitely stick around. I will be making a video on that, I don't know, in the next, few weeks, months. I don't know how long it's going to be. Only doing one video a day, I have a little less time to put in all the stuff that I want to talk about. So while I'm doing this, I'm also thinking about what do I want my homeschool to look like and how much time do I have to be working one-on-one, how much time do my kids need me to be working one-on-one, and how much time do I have for group things. So about half of my day right now is group stuff, and then about half of the day the kids are working on their own with me sitting with certain people for certain subjects. But as my girls are becoming a little more independent and they're starting to do high school level things, I feel like I'm going to need to have like a meeting time where we meet together and I make sure that I've marked their work by the time we meet, maybe once a week, talk over certain things. If my daughter's going to be doing Mandarin Chinese, for example, I don't know if I can go ahead and just write a list of things for her to do. I might need to do a little teaching as far as the Mandarin lessons and using the workbooks that I've chosen. So I might have to do like some mini lessons on different things with my older girls. So I might need to do like a Monday morning meeting sort of thing. So I have to fit this all in my schedule. I have to think about where do my kids need my time, how much time am I going to need to do the group stuff together, and then how much time am I going to need to meet with my kids individually. So every year it's a little bit different, the needs, the time, the sort of time that we need. I really do like to keep my day, my part of the homeschool day to be before lunch because I do have other things I need to do as a busy mom, as a working mom. I need time to be able to do other things. So I do like to fit it all into that morning time. So it's just a little finagling with the schedule, and what you pick for curriculum is so important. How much prep work there is, how much time you need with the child one-on-one, how much they can do individually, how much time you need to be meeting with them to just get them ready for the week, things like that. So I'm going to actually turn you around. I'm going to show you my planning sheet, and I will link in the description box a blank of this if this is something you're interested in using for your planning for the upcoming school year. So I'm just gonna show you how I have like a spreadsheet with all my kids and all the subjects and sort of my thinking process on there. Okay, so if you've been here with me for a while, you have seen this spreadsheet before. This is where I go ahead and I plan out many years ahead of time what I will be doing with my kids. I do not stick to this. It's just an ongoing planning process that I do. When I find that a curriculum doesn't work for us, I might tweak it and change it. So what you're seeing here is my plan for this past school year. And so I'm going to look at what I had planned for this past school year and think about the future school year. And I would be adding that to this tab here, but I'm going to keep that a secret for now. I want you to come and watch my curriculum reviews that are coming up next month. So stick around for those if you're interested. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see my curriculum picks for my upcoming. Heavenly will be 8th, 9th grade. We have a 7th, 8th grade next year, and let's say probably 5th grade and 5th grade mostly, that kind of curriculum for next year. So first of all, I look here, I have Bible. This is what we have been doing this year. We have not really done our 24 family ways. Maybe I can pull that out if we need a little more at the end of the year. We've been doing sunlight readings, which we're almost done, and Who is God, which we will probably be able to finish the year with. And we will pull out a not consumed studies. I have a whole bunch of those. We just voted on the one we're going to do next. So next year, I know that I'm going to have some more sunlight readings from another level, so I'm going to do that. Who is God? I was considering getting the next study, but I decided against it. It is a bit more textbooky. I do prefer like the sunlight readings or the not consumed studies. So I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about how did it work? It was fine. We are going to finish it, but it is not our favorite way to learn. So that, and it was kind of expensive. I wanted to get the notebooking for my kids as well if we did that, because I feel like that's an important part of it. Because if I just read, they're not going to really listen. So that was going to be like $150 for that. That's not in our budget next year. And so that's another consideration when I'm thinking about the next year's curriculum. However, I do have already some not consumed studies, so I'll probably be doing some of that. And I do have a next sunlight level, so we can do the sunlight readings for our Bible next year. Then I'm going to look at math. As you can see, this is what we are doing. My oldest daughter is doing the Good and the Beautiful math, and we haven't really been doing Math Mammoth because I feel like the Good and the Beautiful math is already a lot for her. And then this daughter is doing Teaching Textbooks Math 7. And so I'm thinking about, honestly, she's going to be going into pre-algebra, and I really do want her to have a math that she can continue with until the end of her high school years. So I want her to enjoy the type of math that she's doing. She's only ever done Teaching Textbooks and Math Mammoth. So I'm giving her a taste of a few different math programs in the next few weeks, and she's going to decide on what math she would like to have next year and hopefully in the future. I'm not going to make her stick to that, but that's the idea. If you haven't seen already my 7 popular upper level math comparison video, do check it out. I will link it below as well. Those are the maths that I was looking at and considering for this daughter here. Then the boys are probably just going to be doing Teaching Textbooks 5. It's been working fine. We do use the actual workbook. It helps a lot. My kids just get more frustrated on the computer. So they do it in their workbooks and then they enter it onto the tablet, the answers, and that grades it for me. For math, it's so important for me to have maths that do help me grade because I have so many other things I need to mark and it just takes one thing off. This one I have to mark myself, but she does need more help. So I'm there anyways for most of it. So that it works okay for us. Okay, so next let's look at language arts. And as you can see, there is a ton in language arts. So for here specifically, I think about each child and what they need. And I don't try to give them more than they need. So for my boys, they have been doing language lessons for the elementary child. 1. We have not done 2 yet this year, not so far. The younger son might actually get to 2 a little sooner. I have him do a little more because this child here, he has a few more things that he needs to do. So we'll probably be moving on to language lessons for the elementary child 2 next year. And I really like that program. If you haven't seen a flip through of that, I will link that below as well. We really enjoy it. It's very simple, has a lot of different things in there. It's more Charlotte Mason style. Now the girls, they have been doing grammar. This oldest one has been doing Easy Grammar 4 since last year. She's continued it this year. She will continue it next year. This daughter here is doing Easy Grammar Plus, which is 7th grade and up. And it basically covers all the easy grammar concepts. It's a very thick book. Same thing. She started at the end of last year. She's still working on it now. She'll continue to work on it next year. We might add something else, which I will tell you in my reveals. And then the boys and all of my kids have been doing Michael Clay Thompson's Grammar Island level. It's their first level. It's been fun. It's very literature based. We've been able to do it as a group. However, it is not my favorite way of learning grammar and things like that. So we will not be continuing that. So I'm thinking about that as we go. I would rather have my kids all work at their own levels when it comes to math and language arts. For spelling, it depends on the child. This child needs spelling, this child needs spelling, this child does not, this child does not. So we are working on spelling for those who need spelling. We've been using Spelling UC. We tried out IEW, Phonetic Zoo. I will link a video of that below as well, how it did not work for us. So she is finishing up Spelling UC D and she'll be done before the end of the year, but we are going to wait until the next year to continue. And he just started his C. So we will just continue with that next year. It works the best so far for us for spelling for these 2 kids. Phonics. My one daughter is finishing up Explode the Code. She will be done that soon. I got her this Evan Moore Phonics 4 to 6 plus, but I think at this point it's too easy for her. So I might be transferring that book to another child who might need it more. My 4th, 5th grader here, he's doing some of the Explode the Code. He's not finished yet. And my youngest will be finishing Explode the Code 8. So I'm going to think, does he need more phonics? Is there something I need for next year? In his case, I will say no. I think we are done with phonics for him. Next, I think about vocabulary. Where are my kids getting vocabulary? IEW had vocabulary. They started that with that writing. Oh, I totally skipped writing. Let's go back to writing. My girls were finishing up IEW, the first level, 1A, and they got through that halfway through the year, and we did add a few just writing workbooks to finish off the end of the year, and then there's a little bit of writing in Me Academy. That's very much a supplemental thing for us. If you want to see a review on Me Academy, I will link that below as well. All right, back to vocabulary. How are they getting vocabulary? IEW had vocabulary. We have Compass Classrooms Word Up, and I think I need to do a review on that. It has been lots of fun for my kids. I have level 1, 2, and 3, and we are only now starting level 2. So we might continue that next year. It's something we do in our morning basket all together. This daughter here is very good with vocabulary, and so I've just been strengthening her vocabulary. She does Word Roots Level 1 from the Critical Thinking Company. She has been doing Wordly Wise Book 6. Nope, Wordly Wise Book 7. Word Up, which I talked about before, and Me Academy. So then I think, what did I like Word Roots? Do I want to continue? This is the second level she's done. Does it seem like she's learning? Does she enjoy it? Wordly Wise, is it beneficial? So those are the things I'm thinking about at this time. So then the boys' vocabulary is just Word Up and Me Academy. Handwriting, Good and the Beautiful for all of them, depending on their level. They do enjoy that. Then for reading, it's going to be, we always do literature-based programs, so I'm not worried about getting reading. There's always lots of readers with what I'm choosing. And if I don't have readers with what I'm choosing, I supplement with like Sunlight Reading. I just see what they're doing and add it to my kids for their reading. History, I look at the history. We've been doing Bookshark DE, a mix of Bookshark DE, Sunlight, BC, Story of the World 3 is really where we're on right now. Beautiful Feet, Early American History. So I think about how much longer do I have for those. I think I'll be finishing up Beautiful Feet's Early American History. And then I did purchase the next one, so I will probably just be continuing with that. And then I'll be continuing with Bookshark, probably level F next year, just because that's where we're at. And I really look forward to doing that level F. And then here we have, what are we doing in geography? We are only 8 weeks into Guest Hollows. Guest Hollows High School Geography. We're only 8 weeks in there. So if we enjoy it, we will choose to continue with that. Then I look at science. The beginning of the year, we were finishing off Biology 2, and then we started Guest Hollows, Junior Anatomy. And we are, I think, on week 9 at this point, so we might get to maybe week 20. So we might have a little more to finish off, but I'm not sure. Okay, so I talked about that survey that I did with my kids. And my middle daughter here, the one that is going into, I would say, 7th, 8th grade, she really wants to do some more things independently. And so in my planning, I had to change what I was thinking. I was going to do Guest Hollows action and reactions with all my kids, and then add a little more challenge for my 2 girls who I am going to be considering. I'm going to consider this next science for them to be their 9th grade science. So it's going to be a general science credit. And I'm just going to say that because we're homeschoolers, that is one of the benefits. I can start this daughter a little bit late on high school. I can start this daughter a little bit early on high school. I decide when they start. I decide what is worth a credit. So that's in my planning too. We have done so much group stuff together. It's really hard to just kind of cut a piece out and let her do it on her own. But I think I figured out science, and I'm still thinking about how I'm going to do that for history and geography. But I can share what I figured out so far. Social emotional, sometimes we do that. The girls have finished, no, they're going to be finished their Big Life Journal Teen Edition. I think I don't have anything planned for next year, but my boys might start the Kid Edition at that point. Then I look at art. I ask the girls if they want to continue with art. One wanted to continue, one didn't. So then I'm going to pick an art for the one who does want to continue and just talk to her about that and see what she's interested in doing. As far as Chinese, we do Mandarin Chinese in our home. I have to figure out what people want to do. My oldest daughter, she wants to learn Spanish, and she wants to do Spanish in high school. So I do want to lay a foundation for her with some Spanish before we go into a high school level Spanish. So next year we will be doing some group Spanish maybe every other day, and then group Chinese every other day. My kids have learned a lot from our many years of Chinese, just doing it every other day for about 20 minutes. And so because of that, my middle daughter said that she did want to do Mandarin for high school. And so I feel like she's ready at this point. She has a foundation in Chinese. We've been doing it about 3 years. I think she's ready for a high school level Mandarin. It may take her more than a year to do what I would consider 1 credit in Mandarin, but she can get started early. So she's going to be doing a little extra in Mandarin Chinese to get her first language credit for school. And the boys will just go along for the ride, learn Chinese, learn Spanish until it's their time to pick what they want to do in high school. Okay, I have this career ed unit. I have not done this. This was on my plan. I didn't do it yet. I don't know if we'll do it at the end of the year. If not, I might move it to next year. I don't know. We'll see. Typing. This is what all my kids were doing for typing. It's going well. We'll probably continue next year unless they regularly type. Basically, the thing is if they regularly type up things, then they don't need to be practicing typing so much. But if they choose not to type up their reports and stuff, then they probably should just keep learning how to type. We had Me Academy as extra stuff this year. We're not going to continue that next year. Online school is not really our style. So we do have it for the year and we use it supplementally like twice a week or something like that. My kids enjoy it, but it's not something I need to keep on for next year. We've also been doing reflex math for some of them. I think the girls will be out and the boys, they might need a break. It's our second year doing reflex math. So I think we'll probably take a break from that. And then my middle daughter has been doing the Simple Startup, which is an entrepreneur course. And so I'm going to have to see and think about what the extras are for next year. This isn't really vital for my planning at this time. I'm mostly thinking about these more main subjects. I would say the top bit, science and up here. That's what I'm thinking about right now and planning for the upcoming school year. So those are all the things that I keep in my mind when I'm trying to plan the next year, just trying to account for those changes as the kids grow, as the curriculum changes for different reasons, as life situations come up, depending on what's happening. Some people know they're having a baby, maybe they need something a little less them intensive, and maybe you never know. There are things that you can predict in the future. There are always things you can't predict in the future, but as much as possible when you're planning the next year, you want to be realistic. Do you have a baby? Do you have a toddler who's going to be getting into things? You need to be thinking about all those things and how much time you actually have to be hands-on with the homeschool versus having kids do stuff on their own. And if they do stuff on your own, you still have to have time to keep them accountable, to be marking their work, or have a strategy or system for that. So I hope this video was helpful in just sharing what I'm thinking about when I'm planning the next school year. And for all those links that I said would be down there, I'll try to link as many things as I mention or you see in this video. I will link below also the surveys and that spreadsheet about how I plan out my year. So just a blank one. You won't get mine, but you'll get a blank one if that's something that would be helpful for you in planning out your future year. I find it really helps me I know it looks like a lot on there, but I would probably add more if I didn't have that to organize my thoughts, to think, what am I actually going to do for that subject? Do I actually need something for that subject? And I definitely don't need 2 things for that subject. So that kind of helps me be a little more realistic with my thinking of the next year. And then of course, as you're doing that, you got to keep your finances in mind. Like I said, for Who is God, it was like, it was okay. And I'm really glad that I actually chose not to do that because of the price, because now that we've been doing it a little bit longer, I'm like, that really isn't sort of our style. So I don't think I wanted to have it. I was tempted to buy it when there was a sale, but I didn't buy it because of financial restraints. And now I am glad that that happened. So thank you, God, for leading me in that direction with my finances. If you do like content like this, you like homeschooling things, tips and tricks, curriculum, flip-throughs and reviews and things like that, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. If you like this video, please give me a like so it will share to other people on YouTube, other homeschoolers on YouTube. Thanks so much for coming today. Don't forget to check the playlist below for all the other homeschool moms and how they do their planning at this time of the year. I hope to see you in a future video. Goodbye, everyone.